I'm curious, are you guys eager to go on flights now, or do you just hold back and say, oh no, I don't want to ever do that again? What's the deal?
Well, I definitely, am flying out of JFK instead of EWR in the next couple of days. So I saw that, took it seriously, and went, I will fly out of JFK today. Thank you very much. So.
Yeah, it's funny. You've never look at a plane the same way after you've spent years working on a project that involves situations like this on a plane. Every time, like while we were prepping or while I was developing, and certainly now, I would just look at every single detail, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know how that works. I know how that works. But it's yeah, no, I don't mind flying. It's I love it. I look at it all in a different way.
Are you more willing to go on a flight than you were before because you know what to do if somebody starts acting up?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I know what to do, but I mean, I'd pretend.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of the training was this is how you decapitate someone if they act up on a plane.
I'm ready with the armrest in a minute. I think I could use it really
Right?
well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
There's a lot I
James,
could do with a spoon.
yeah. How difficult was it to shoot in that kind of confined space?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it had its challenges. I think that the uh with the crew that I had, with the cast that I had, I think under other circumstances, you could wind up with people that are like, oh, how are we going to do this? But absolutely everybody involved, and especially the cast, were just like, we're going to figure this out, and like the stunt team and the riggers and the camera guys, it was all like they would see every challenge as something they were excited about, and so we would come to them and say, this is kind of what we're after. And it's like, let me start working on that. And a lot of times, whether or not we had time for it, they would just sort of do it on their own. And that's what really made the movie. And the fact that whatever the situation was, the actors are like, I am there. I'm fully committed. And when you have those two things come together, it just that's how you wind up with a movie like we have now.
Was there any stunt you couldn't do?
There was a flying dog in the original script that I really tried to keep, and it would have meant the entire shoot we had a dog and dog handlers and all sorts of things that would go along with that. That was just like, this will kill us, but there was a 0G bit with like a dog coming at us that I was just like, I want to see that.
I want to see that.
But I know.
It's for the sequel. You can do it in the sequel. That's how you handle it.
I very reluctantly let that go, but yeah, that's one that comes to mind for sure.
Katee, did you get to meet anybody else from the movie or not? Were you
No,
like
I
all
did. I mean, I was
sequestered?
like, I definitely felt like I was sequestered on an island, but no, I definitely got to meet everyone. And Josh and I were shooting our scenes sort of concurrently. So we were hearing what the other person was doing and making changes to dialogue and tone and things like that the entire time. So it was definitely collaborative for sure.
So how difficult is it to do a scene to a screen, to do a scene where you're just talking in the air, you're supposedly on the phone? What is that like?
It's an interesting challenge to try to make something seem comfortable because we do it every single day. We do it a million times a day and we don't think about it, right? But the moment you get on camera, you try to make sure that your character is seeming spontaneous, and because phone calls are, is just keeping that pace of the entire film.
Did you create a backstory for her?
Of course I did. I know everything about Catherine.
Okay, then explain to me what was up with her hair. What was
Well,
that hairdo?
it's just no nonsense. She doesn't want her hair in her face while she's working. She may have to kill someone.
Right.
True, that would be the way to explain it, right?
Yeah.
James, why was Josh the one to do this?
Josh is at the end of the day, what we wanted to make sure that we had someone that was going to inhabit the non-action parts of this. There was a character that we wanted that was not going to go down like the usual kind of action route. And from the very beginning, it was always Josh. I mean, as soon as we knew that he might be interested in, that was just a dream for me, because it was to the character that we had. You know, there's a long list of action names that people usually throw out, but to get someone that is such a great actor, is so performance driven, character driven, who then says, I'm going to do the work, and did, it was just a dream come true. And there was a certain, I didn't want it to be like a cliche of a lot of other action characters that we've seen. And he was very much of the same mind. So it was just perfect. I mean, I can't imagine anyone else in the role.
How big was that plane? I mean, the set that you used as a plane.
It was pretty big. It was divided up into a few different pieces, but all in one continuous go. We had the business class, which is where Josh originally sits, into a galley, into economy, and then into another galley. So we were able to, and then that galley is when we're underneath and they come down through. That goes into another set, which was in another stage, and first class was in another stage. But that one piece was continuous, so we could sort of shoot back and forth, and we could be able to sort of be shooting and look through the two doors and have all that work. So that was pretty helpful. I mean, it's a plane. It's real stuff from a plane. It wasn't like a set. Like, we couldn't like wow the wall out. It was like a chunk of a plane just got plunked down. Which was a little tricky.
Was continuity a real concern?
Yes. yes, because we would have, like, you know, it's sort of like, oh yeah, it's an easy action movie, it's contained. It's like, well, there's 100 extras in every shot. You know, there's always all these other people. So we would get like, okay, these are the people that sit in upstairs economy. These are the people that sit in downstairs economy. And then like they wouldn't always come back. So we'd be like grabbing the costume person and like, sit over there in that empty seat, you know? So it was, you know, if you're really paying attention, it more or less tracks the different times we're in places. The same people are there, but, you know, not always, for sure.
Well,
the
Katee,
had her work cut out for her, for sure.
Katee, did you miss being part of all that kind of action? Because you're an action person. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Of course, I have action envy. I always do. But I was so just excited to play Catherine that I really didn't think about it until we were done and I saw a cut. And then I started, I think, texting James about sequels and if Catherine could do some action next.
For sure.
So fingers crossed it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm projecting it at this point. I basically forced everyone to hire me. So we'll see.
You know, and the trick is they always have those carts in the middle of the aisles. If you had more carts in the aisles, they couldn't produce half of this stuff. So just know, next time, get those carts out.
Right. True. Very true.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.